Everybody, thank you for tuning in for this quick Dolphins update. I'm Bobby Fins Talk on the Fins Talk Sports Network. We're going to talk about Tua, what's been coming out just today. Of course, we all know as Dolphin fans, the Dolphins are in the playoffs, in the wild card. We'll face the Buffalo Bills, who they split the season series with, which is pretty dang cool to get a three-peat of that matchup. But it's really going to come down to what's the health of the football team and especially the quarterback situation. Dolphins won the first matchup, they lost the second one. Now it's the third time's a charm. Let's talk about how Tua is going to do and where he stands for next week. Multiple different reports coming out. First off, Ian Rappaport of Pat McCaffrey's show said if Tua can't go, he expects Teddy Bridgewater to get the start next week, not Skylar Thompson. What's up, Cat? Good to see you, brother. Great team win. Overall team win. It was old-fashioned football, 11-6. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't exciting. What was exciting was the final result, which is awesome. But listen, we've said it all year, and there's no doubt. What's up, Adam? That no matter what happens, no matter how you feel about the quarterback, how you feel about Tua, if you're a fan or you support him as the quarterback, if you don't feel he's the franchise, we all know the best chance to win next Sunday against the Buffalo Bills is having Tua at quarterback. Tua on the season. Let's take a look at that very quick before we move forward. Let me pull this up here. Forgive me. All right. Tua this year had 3,548 yards passing with 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and a passer rating of 105.5. He leads the NFL. Just behind him is Pat Mahomes, but 105.5 is such a big number, especially when he's only played 13 games. And of course, he struggled in the final stretch of the season in December. And he only, played only 13 games, played 13 games last year, comes back this year, plays 13 games again, but better numbers. Let me see Evan in the house. What isn't exciting to me is shaking my head, not doing the rounds on Twitter. El Jefe. Yes, so I just wanted to catch everybody up. And Evan, I fill you in on everything, but I thought it'd be good just to pop up on here and just fill everybody in on what I'm seeing. So Ian Rappaport says, hey, man, if Tua can't go, he's expecting Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know how I feel about that. It's the veteran. You go with the veteran, right, I guess. But how are you guys feeling about if Skylar Thompson starts? If Tua can't go, who would you rather have starting at quarterback in the wild card weekend against Buffalo? Would it be Teddy or will it be Skylar? I think I like Teddy, and I think this is why you signed him. I was excited about that signing coming into this season, but I think I've seen enough to say that I'd rather see what we have in the rookie in this type of situation. Skylar Thompson did not have a great game, a good game, but he did not have a bad game, in my opinion. I think he had a better game than most people expected against the top 3 defense in the NFL. Playoffs on the line, season on the line. He did not turn over the football. So, yeah, it wasn't pretty, and that's not your preference going in against Buffalo. You want Tua to be playing next week, but if you had the choice, I think, even though I prefer, I'm okay with Teddy, and I was rooting for Teddy when we got him, I'd prefer Skylar in this situation. Anyone behind door number 3. No kidding. But that's what we have. Mike McDaniel's comments today. He says Tua is feeling good. He's sweating. It was exercising. I think I read something that he is cleared to throw in non-contact. But he's not cleared for non-contact football activity just yet. He is throwing. He would appear to be in phase 2 or 3 of NFL return concussion protocol. What's the breakdown of that? Well, phase 1 for somebody in concussion protocol, Tua is in, this is his second confirmed concussion, arguably his third concussion on the season, which is not great. But let's go over the concussion protocol, phase 1, phase 2, 3, etc., to make sure he can get a return. Phase 1, system limited activity. Player is prescribed rest, limiting or, if necessary, avoiding activities both physical and cognitive, which increases or aggravates symptoms under athletic training staff supervision. Limited stretching and balance training can be introduced, progressing to light aerobic exercise, all as tolerated. Phase 2, aerobic exercise. Under direct oversight of the team's medical staff, the player should begin graduated cardiovascular exercise and may also engage in dynamic stretching and balance training. And it looks like he's either phase 2 or phase 3. Phase 3 is football specific exercise. Phase 4, club-based non-contact training drills. And phase 5, full activity clearance. If they're thinking that he's on phase 2 and phase 3, I don't know if I feel comfortable to say he's probably going to play in the wild card game. But sure as hell, we need him. And, I know this is – I think if it was up to him, he'd be playing. But it's up to the doctors right now. And from what I've read, it doesn't look promising. What's promising is that he's moving along and he's supporting his teammates. Evan brought up, the big, Raheem Mostert. That is huge because what was good about yesterday, Miami running the football. We have been pounding the table about Miami Dolphins running the football with or without Tua. We talked about our young coach becoming, I said he's a prisoner of the talent around him, meaning Tyreek and Jalen. You have the talent at running back to run the ball, and Mostert and Jeff Wilson, Mostert especially, has shown you can be successful. So losing him for next week is huge, and it hurts. Tyler Dunn, Twitter, he says on ESPN, Adam Schefter said he thinks Miami is hoping Tua will be able to start Sunday against the Jets. They want to see how he progresses. I would just hope that he could. Barry Jackson, who obviously the Miami Herald, who's very in tune with the Miami Dolphins, he says, one tweet he first says, why do some Fin fans on Twitter seem irked that Tua hasn't progressed more quickly through protocol? If doctors thought he was healthy enough to do on-field non-contact work, he would be. As for Teddy, he needs to be able to throw more than 15 yards to start if needed. Remember, Tua this is what's scary. Jackson followed up with this, and this is a little scary on the Tua situation. Remember, Tua had memory issues and inability to recall things after the Green Bay concussion. Doctors are taking this very seriously, to the point they told the coaching staff that they should not discuss any topics to him that could cause him stress, such as if he might play again. So, we know the Dolphins are hoping he could play. They're waiting to see how it goes, but then you're hearing what Barry Jackson says. I'd love for Tua to start. I think that's the best chance for Miami to win. I don't have a good feeling he's going to start. If, does it give Miami the best chance to win? Absolutely. Does that mean Miami's going to lose for sure on Sunday? No. Any given Sunday. The best thing is that the Dolphins are in the playoffs. That's what matters. Adam, Evan, Cap, everyone tuning in, thank you. Smash that like and subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, we appreciate you. Over 600. Let's keep going. But Cap for Life, one game came through the tight ends, came through the offensive line, came through the defense, played phenomenal with backup players on both sides of the trenches. Great team win. Can't take that away. No. And that's why I think, I know people say, look at that score, 11-6. It's not sexy. How can you can't score just 11 points against the Buffalo Bills. However, you play to your opponent. You play up to your opponent. Miami did not need to go crazy and score a bunch of points. And, we saw that when Mike McDaniel decided to kick the ball and get 3 points rather than go for a touchdown. You didn't need to score a touchdown against the Jets. They weren't going to score over what they were going to. Next week, Mike McDaniel and company and this football team are going to do more to get points on the board because you have to against Josh Allen and that Buffalo Bills football team. And especially with Hamlin, who's, thank God he's doing okay. It's an amazing story. But supposedly he's coming back to Buffalo. He's on his way back. He's out of the hospital. More than likely going to lead him out of the tunnel. So, that's going to have some leeway. But let me look very quick at the scores. I had them in front of me. Let me see. Did I write these down? Maybe I did. Ender in the house, man. I appreciate you, Ender. Thank you. Yes, I did call it. I did say the Dolphins were going to face the Buffalo Bills one more time, and so they did. I've told Evan, stop disagreeing with me. Just say, you know what, Bobby, I'm just going to roll with you, and that's okay. Let me make sure I pull this up. Maybe if you guys have that. Well, here we go. So the Dolphins beat the Bills, obviously, the first time, which was September 25th. They beat them 21-19. Man, that match, that was a fight. That was a Rocky Balboa type of matchup where it was the final seconds and the Dolphins pulled it out. And, of course, the final matchup, December 17th, 32-29, Buffalo over Miami this time. Difference being in those matchups, which I know you guys will point out, is that Tua was playing. He's not playing here. It's either Teddy or Skyler. So Miami has to evolve. Mike McDaniel has to evolve the game planning, evolve the offense. Mike McDaniel has stated, which I know Evan would love, that he is not just game planning for one quarterback in Tua, he's game planning for all three. Of course, it's wait and see. It's show me you can do it. Show me that you could game plan around all three, and let's see a successful game plan against Buffalo. At least put up a fight. No one's going to give us a chance unless you're a Dolphins fan. I don't think we'll see it, and especially if Tua's not playing. No one's going to give us a chance next Sunday. That's okay. Love the underdog. Love it. We got Buffalo, and if we beat Buffalo, I don't want to look ahead. Then we got Kansas City, and it's going to be a tough road to the Super Bowl. But can anybody do it? Yes, they can. This Dolphins team, I've said it since the beginning, with or without Tua at quarterback, is very damn talented. When you got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, that type of offense and defensive players, then you have a shot. Jalen Waddle is questionable, but McDaniel has said he would be surprised if he missed next week. Mozart, which Evan has pointed out, broken thumb, surgery, out more than likely. Tua, he could return, but you got to read the tea leaves on that one. Terran Armstead, I haven't heard anything. If anybody else has heard anything, I haven't. But the Buffalo Bills going into this game have the second best offense in the NFL and the sixth best defense. Miami, the sixth best offense and the 18th best defense. I remember this was impromptu. I wanted to go ahead and talk about the Dolphins, talk about what I've been reading and following up on Tua and everything else. So I am doing this live, no prep, except for what I have here. And, of course, my daughter talking in the background, which is just okay. Skyler won't flinch. If Armstead protects Skyler's blind side, we are going to the Super Bowl. I absolutely love it, Ender. G. Thank you for tuning in. We talked about it during the break, during that 3-game losing streak when we first lost Armstead and Tua. I had brought up that I thought Armstead was the bigger missing piece. Evan yesterday had said that Armstead is the more important piece for this team. If Armstead plays, Miami has a way better chance on offense to do what they need to do to get the job done. No one's denying that with Tua, there's a way better chance that we could win. A real legit chance. But good things happen when Gesicki gets targets. And yesterday proved it. You're absolutely right, Adam. Gesicki, we need to get Gesicki involved, especially as long as we have him. Off-season wise, I don't think he comes back, but absolutely, you have him. You've got to use him. I thought they would be using him a lot more this season, especially with Tyreek and Tua. Tyreek and Jalen. You would think that three-headed monster, or it would have been a four-headed monster with Tua, but they didn't do that way because he doesn't fit the scheme. But you need to use him. All hands on deck. All hands on deck. If Mozart's out, Jeff Wilson, Ahmed, give them the ball, focus on the running game, choke them up front, get that defense coming over forward, and then beat them over the top. Get some chunk change. Teddy has the Teddy plays, which Ian Rappaport expects him to play. If Teddy ends up starting, people shouldn't be discouraged about the deep ball because obviously, if you look at it, Teddy has the deepest deep ball to Tyreek this season. If Skylar starts, again, he's a rookie who just played well enough to win a very important football game on the line, season on the line. You can't take that away from him. He stepped up. Ender, she wants to say Fins up. So let me make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Perfect. Man, and that's the thing too, guys. It's just awesome to be in the playoffs, to have a shot at the playoffs. And I could understand, injuries, 5-game losing streak, limping into the playoffs, but crazier things have happened. No one should be discouraged. We should all on next Sunday turn on that football game, or if you're lucky enough to be at that stadium, if you go to Buffalo or if you're in Buffalo. Oh, yeah. She wants to say Fins up. Yes, she does. I got home from work. I said, man, I want to talk some Dolphins. I got to talk about this very quick. We got a show coming up at 8 o'clock Eastern. Great one, Beard Sports. They're talking about the whole NFL playoffs. But I wanted to sit down and talk with you guys right quick, talk some Dolphin football. I'm going to go play with her in a little bit, my baby girl. But she, loves Dolphins. She screams touchdown. I swear that was her first words. And, of course, my other daughter and my son, too, love Dolphins. Little Big Ben, a.k.a. Skylar the Rottweiler. I like that, man. If, I know what they're expecting, but if Skylar starts, and again, I think I would go better with Skylar in this situation. I mean, just because young gun, we know we got him. Teddy's injured. He has a broken finger. That's another thing. How's he going to play? How's he going to react to that? If you put the rookie in there who just won, I don't want to say he won youth football because I think people are misconstruing that, who did enough he did not lose you the game, then I think you're okay playing him in this game. If you want to talk Dolphins when we go, join us. Wingate, brother, I'm always be happy to join you. Once I get some time with the kids there, I may pop my head in there to come see you and let's talk some NFL playoffs. Arson World, good to see you, my brother. Thank you for tuning in. Good show, much support. It is awesome to go to the dance for once. Hey, you know what? Again, it's awesome to be in the playoffs. And honestly, looking at this roster at the top of the year, whether you're a Dolphin fan or you were just an NFL fan, I don't think anybody could say that the Dolphins may not make the playoffs. I think we all expected they were going to make the playoffs. Question mark being the quarterback, of course. That was the talk before the year. So that might have been why some people outside the Dolphin fan base would say no. But I think everybody expected playoffs. So I'm not satisfied. I'm happy. I'm happy about the playoffs, but I'm not satisfied with just making the playoffs. We got, the difference between this year and last year. Dolphins were 9-8 last year. They're 9-8 this year. Difference is we made the playoffs. What they need to do for me to be happy is not just get to the dance, is to win a game. I want to go all the way, don't get me wrong, brother, but if they could win a playoff game, beat Buffalo in Buffalo, first of all, oh hell, that would be epic. That would be great. We all owe this to Chris Greer. We owe what to Chris Greer? Evan, what do we owe to Chris Greer? I'll respond to that once I know what we're owing to Chris Greer. It's going to be great, though, watching this game and celebrating and putting all your heart into it. And, there's my wife right there. She has the baby, but that's okay. No, we don't mind, guys. Fandom, we got family. Everybody knows that. It's just talking sports. And let me talk about some other stuff as I'm with this wonderful season. Oh, sarcasm. Love it. True. And again, something I've been talking about all year, and again, we win 8-3. This started out awesome. Very exciting if we're Dolphin fans. Evan and I, we've been discussing all year. And, I'm not somebody, receipts and all this BS and all this crap. People your emotions change, your thoughts, your you change throughout the season. A season is fluctuating. Your thought processes, all that thing, they change throughout the season. I remember when the Dolphins 8-3, we made the big trade. We got Bradley Chubb, we got Jeff Wilson, which was a big move on the Dolphins' part. Big move trade by Chris Greer. And Evan asked me, hey, are you ready to apologize? And I said, is the job finished? Quoting the great Kobe Bryant, is the job finished? It's not. It's not finished on Sunday. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Evan, you're right. The roller coaster season, like it was last year, because last year was reversed. Before we were 8-3, then 0-5, and 1-5 now. Where last year we started 1-7, then we're 8-1. It was just a reverse, and 9-8. Except that Brian Flores wasn't lucky enough to fall into the playoffs. Now McDaniel goes into the playoffs with the luck of the Bills beating the Patriots and all that. It's just now. So that's why I'm not satisfied with a wild card berth. I would be satisfied with a win in the playoffs. So that's why, it's hold in regards of what's for sure and all this, let's crown them and do all this stuff. Let's just wait until it's done. So, Evan, you're right. I thank Chris Greer for this roller coaster season in regards of putting even though Connor Williams, I just saw Connor Grant and Pro Football Focus has Connor Williams graded the 5th graded center. They signed this guy who was the 11th best guard in the NFL, which we needed a left guard. We signed him. And what did we do? We needed a left guard. What did we do with him? We put him at center. And we still have questions at left guard. But guess what? That 11th best guard in the NFL from last year is now the 5th best center in football this season. So I know he struggled yesterday, and I know Evan loves Connor Williams at center. But you can't deny the numbers here. Jalen Phillips was graded the best defensive player and the 6th edge rusher in the NFL. I just love his growth. Needs a class clown. You're not a class clown, brother. You're not a class clown. I won't give you that. You keep it interesting, as everybody does on the network, and even everybody here tuning in. Again, this is just a Dolphins update. I think this is pretty cool, and it's not just going to be me who does these. I think any of the guys could pull up a Dolphins update, talk some stuff coming on, and all that whatnot. Let's talk about Jalen Phillips. I just said he's the 5th best edge rusher, the 6th best edge rusher in the NFL. Last year, he was the 94th best edge rusher at 110 at the position. 53.7 grade overall. 39 pressures, total pressures, 16 defensive stops. This year, for this young man, he's at 87.7 overall, 6th out of 118, 70 total pressures, and 36 defensive stops. Talk about freaking growth. This kid, I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. And there's a lot of misses on Chris Greer's resume, in my opinion, and a lot of overlooks. But that was not a miss. So, as it's looking now, guys, in regards of Tua, at least for me, I can't see him playing next week. I don't see him playing next week. I hope I'm wrong. Best chance to win, obviously. So if he plays, fortunes are going to change, I think. I already said I had Miami winning. I like to be realistic, but I promised Fish Tank Hank on Fins Talk today that if Miami won this week, that I was going to pick them to win this week. If they would have won last week, I'm going to pick them to win this week because the Dolphins is a streaky football team. So whether I believe it or not, I'm picking them to win. But my best chance to win, if you're going to leave me between Mike Glennon, Skylar Thompson, and Teddy Bridgewater, because Teddy has the injury to his hand, he obviously cannot finish a football game, apparently, I'd say go with Skylar Thompson. I know he's not the veteran. I know he's a 7th-round pick. He's a rookie. But you go with him. And, Evan, I hope you're right. Tua will play unless there's a setback. Well, if he's on phase 2 and 3, they're not, and he's 3 concussions in. I know it's confirmed 2. And where is this here? You tell me where you're comfortable with this. Tua had memory issues and inability to recall things after Green Bay concussion. Doctors are taking this very seriously, so much so that they have told the Miami Dolphins coaching staff to not discuss anything, any topics that could cause him stress, such as when he might play again. Where in that do you think that he will play? I hope he does. I know, not McShay. Schefter has said that the Dolphins expect him to play. Or they're not that they expect him to play. They're hoping he can play. Ian Rappaport says he expects Teddy Bridgewater to start next week. But that right there, Barry Jackson saying that, who is in tune with Miami Dolphins and one like word like gospel in regards to Miami knowledge and intel. If he says something like that, I don't know where you find the confidence that you think he's going to play. And even if he does play, when does his health not become a concern? Charles B. Tua is not playing again this year. I would not be surprised. I hope he does. I mean, it's the best chance to win. I mean, but he has to be absolutely healthy. And then again, we're not going to get into what happens in the offseason right now. I mean, I know where I'm going. As soon as the offseason ends, then we'll discuss that. I bet you you will need to cancel Fast Break to do another update on Wednesday. I won't cancel Fast Break. I may have to come on later or a little before. And then if anybody wants to hop on and talk, we talk. Buffalo got no tape on Skylar Armstead is the skeleton key. And again, Evan brought it up yesterday. I talked about it before that. I think Armstead is more important to this team than Tua. Not that Tua is not important. I don't want that to be misconstrued. Tua is obviously very important. Gives us a best chance to win. But if Armstead's in there, it gives us a way better chance to win, no matter who's at quarterback. McD is leaving him alone. Wednesday is key. He did remember Christmas. Did he not remember Christmas? I didn't see that. That ain't cool. Hope that's not true. But I'm not doubting you, G. I'm not doubting you at all. But hey, guys, I just wanted to pop in here, get you all posted on Tua and this update. I don't know if I think the insiders, besides Barry Jackson, are really trying to dig because looking at what Schefter said and looking at what Ian Rappaport said, he was on the Pat McAfee show. To me, it sounds more like they're kind of digging on the outside, trying to figure out where Miami's at. Where Barry Jackson was saying some intel, some insider stuff, where doctors are not playing around with this at all. They're not playing around, and I know it's been a couple weeks now, and we got the most important game right now, at least most important game in the history of the Dolphins right now. Has to be now. If we want to win, it's the playoff game. This is when it counts. This is a time zeros become heroes, and maybe Skylar becomes a zero to hero. Maybe Teddy, but obviously we want Tua playing. No matter what you think of Tua as a quarterback or a franchise quarterback, there's no doubt the Dolphins are better off with Tua as the starting quarterback going into this game next Sunday. So obviously we're going to have a lot more to talk about throughout the week. Tuesday night, tomorrow night. Yeah, he told McDaniels he didn't remember the interceptions. He didn't remember Christmas. Google it. Google me, Chuck. Google me. You got it, G. I'll check it out, brother. I don't doubt you, man. I believe you. But tomorrow you can catch Real Talk Fins Talk with Steve Malloy and Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com right here on the channel, on the network. Like and subscribe. You catch Evan Posner on the bandwagon with Fish Tank Hank at 8. Right after this show at 8 o'clock Eastern, you got Beer and Sports, the Beer and Sports podcast with Josh Wingate and Kimmel. They're going to talk NFL playoffs. They're going to talk Dolphins. Tune in. You got a Dallas Cowboys fan. You got a Dolphins fan. Be a very interesting show. I love their show, man. They got a great program. Then, of course, you got Wednesday, you got Fast Break. And then wrestling, no holds barred. Thursday, we got so much stuff going on today. So anyway, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in to the Beer and Sports podcast. I may tune in and join the guys on that, talk some Dolphins. But until then, like, subscribe, fins up. Appreciate you guys.